Hello everybody, this is Evan Rogers coming at you with fancy language verbs. Today we're talking about direct objects. Hopefully you can see this giant thing that says direct objects. If you didn't know what the heck a direct object is, I am here to tell you real quick. Every single one of my Patreon and Subscribe Star rewards is available for $1 a month. I highly recommend you join up. It's a great deal. Lots of practice up there, lots of workbooks, etc., etc. A giant kanji workbook for the JLPT N5. Let's keep on trucking. Direct objects. A direct object of a sentence. I'm just going to call them DOs. Well, I'm going to say direct object, but direct object is really long to type. So I'll type it as a DO. They are the thing that got verbed in a normal sentence. Okay, so we're going to talk about passivity and active sentences, but a passive sentence is when you take the direct object and the subject and you flip them. So in that situation, it's actually the opposite. The thing that got verbed in usual sentences is the direct object. That's not a fantastic definition of it. That's generally what the direct object is. Another way to put this is what the subject acts upon. That might be another good way to put it. The thing that the subject acts upon. But that causes some more gray areas because of things like, I wrote a letter with a pen. Well, you acted upon a letter and you acted upon a pen, right? So which one of those is the actual direct object? We'll talk about that. Okay. In English, they come after verbs, and in Japanese, they come before verbs. English is an SVO language, and Japanese is a SOV language. You SOV. Give me a drink. All right, let's go ahead and get started. A spider bit Peter Parker. This is a pretty easy sentence. So the thing that did the biting, the subject is a spider, and the predicate is bit Peter Parker. And in the predicate, the direct object is Peter Parker because that is what got bitten. The subject, the spider, acted upon Peter Parker. Both of those explanations function properly. What got bit? Peter Parker. The DO is Peter Parker. A giant lizard man. Sorry, my eye is itching. Well, no, my eye is itchy, and I was itching while scratching. Anyway. A giant lizard man slashed the lockers. Apparently, I was just watching a Spider-Man movie, the one with Andrew Garfield. He's the best Spider-Man out of all of them. Sorry, everyone else who sucks. A giant lizard man slashed the lockers. So, what did the giant lizard man do? He slashed the lockers. So the action is slashing. What did he slash? What did he verb? He slashed the lockers. That would be the DO, the direct object. Okay, great. Next, hopefully you can see this whole thing. I'm going to try to slow down. There we go. Spider-Man. How are we doing? Is that actually fitting? Oh, okay, great. Yeah, that's easy. Spider-Man threw Gwen Stacy out the window. To an extent, you might think he might be acting upon the window, but that's actually not what he's acting upon. He is acting upon Gwen Stacy. The subject is Spider-Man. The predicate is threw Gwen Stacy out the window. The verb is threw. The predicate verb is threw. Gwen Stacy is what he threw. That's the best way we can identify the DO, the direct object. And where did he throw her? He threw her out the window. This would be an object of the preposition, not a direct object. And that is why Gwen Stacy is the direct object. You see the word out? That's a preposition. In English, this is how we identify that the window is not the direct object. That doesn't work so much in Japanese. Almost all, I shouldn't say almost all, but a lot of objects of prepositions in Japanese will just get the ni particle or something like kara. Actually, no, that's not even true. Just, there's going to be a different particle. Okay. So what got thrown? Gwen Stacy got thrown. That's how we know it's a direct object. Notice that Spider-Man is what did the throwing. He's a subject. It is or not. Yeah, the windows, I already said all this. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Let's talk about number 4. Spider-Man asked, is this all visible? Yeah, there you go. Spider-Man asked Dr. Connor a question. Okay, so how do we identify the object? It looks like he asked Dr. Connor, right? After all, that's what comes right after asked. Well, Spider-Man, did he ask Dr. Connor or did he ask a question? What is the thing that he asked? What is what is the object that he actually asked? Well, this is tricky. If I say thing, you know the answer is question. If I say whom, you would know it was Dr. Connor. So if we say what is the thing that I don't know. This is tricky. You can't do it that way. What he actually asked, the thing that he acted upon, is the question. Okay, he asked a question to Dr. Connor. He asked a question to Dr. Connor. If we switch Dr. Connor and a question, it becomes very apparent that we have an object of the preposition. Spider-Man asked a question to Dr. Connor. All right, let's talk about the direct object a little bit more in Japanese. This is how we identify them in English, and that's going to help you with your Japanese, okay? I mean, knowing how all this works in English is going to help you in your Japanese. But let's talk more. A spider bit Peter Parker. Peter Parker o kanda. So Peter Parker would get the O particle. Let me just type that in here. O. Peter Parker o kamu. The giant lizard man slashed Nanio. The lockers. That'd be the O particle. Spider-Man threw Gwen Stacy, because that is what he threw out the window. Notice the window. That'd get like a I don't know, kara. We could use a knee, but not really. Kara. Knee would be more like he threw her at the window. And Spider-Man asked Dr. Connor. The question is asked to Dr. Connor, so it would get a knee particle, and a question is what gets the particle an O. If you've been paying attention, every single one of our objects, our direct objects that is, gets an O particle. That is the chief function of the O particle. Well, it's the chief function of the O particle. It goes on direct object. However, with Japanese, there are the occasional sentences that translate to direct objects, but they actually get a ga particle, but that's because Japanese grammar is different than English. You're going to know that in the future. Verbs like arimasu or predicates like nanika nanika ga suki desu, those translate as active sentences, but in Japanese they're actually descriptions. So we have to warp our brains a little bit, but they would get ga particles. Anyway, the chief job of the O particle is to identify the direct object of a verb, and also to put emphasis on the word it marks. Okay, so that's how direct objects work, especially in English, but also in Japanese and in languages in general. And almost every language is probably going to follow this rule, because that's how we define what a direct object is: the thing that got verbed, the thing that the subject acted upon. Okay, hey, peace out. Fancy language words. And let's sing Vampirina.
We can sing Booty Vampirina.
You want to sing Booty Vampirina? What's that song? We're living the scream.
Whoa, Vampirina, I come and come zoo. Vampirina.
Maybe blue with pointy teeth.
Me blue is